till 10. Talking future trips, then talk them all again. From Alaska dreams to Tokyo seas, got the countdown rolling with the ocean breeze. Grab your drink, raise it high, we're chasing sunsets in the sky. This channel's more than vids we make. It's a crazy crew that never breaks. 'Cause we're naughty, we're loud, yeah, we're different from the crowd. Sailing through the chaos like a punk rock cruiser. Hit subscribe, come along every week, another song. Life's better on the waves with the Naughty Cruiser. Oh. We don't need perfect, we need real stories you can vibe and feel. From port to port, we scream our name. The Naughty Cruiser. Remember the fame.
What's going on, everybody? What's up? It's your boy, Mike, the Naughty Cruiser, in the house on a Sunday, a special edition Sunday Live. I hope y'all are having a fantastic weekend. I hope your weekend is incredible. For those of you in another country on a different continent, I hope your Monday morning is going spectacular. It's been a long time. I can't say Thirsty Thursday and all that stuff because it's not Thursday. So let's just call this Sentimental Sunday because it's been a while since I have been live. So I hope each and every one of you have had a fantastic weekend. I hope life has been treating you well and giving you many blessings. I know mine has been a little chaotic, and we will get into all of that and then some. Let's get right to the chat. First things first, who was the first one in the chat? According to the YouTube analytics, Gay was the first one in the chat. Doug's in the house. Dadabetic in the house all the way from Hawaii. Scott McNeil's in the house. Kathy's in the house. She made sure to stay on my behind this weekend for a live show. So yes, Kathy, I am here. Lourdes, my favorite darling dear, I am here. You don't have to worry. I am here this weekend. I made it. I made it. I made it. Kim's in the house, who now is a Florida resident, for those of you who did not know. Robin's in the house. Who else we got in the house? We got Nancy in the house, who is just off the Jubilee. Look at that. Look at that. Florida Cruiser's in the house. Doug's in the house. Robin's in the house. Gay's in the house. Scott's in the house. We're all in the mother house. Like I said, life has been a little hectic, so we might as well get the elephant out of the way and talk about why life has been crazy. It's been a little insane. For those of you that were with me on the Boats and Bros, you know a little bit of the backstory. So let's rewind a little bit to December. Back in December, the company that I worked for informed me they were going out of business, and I was no longer going to have a job. So I had 2 cruises booked in January that were already approved with the company. We went and left on the Magic at the end of January, came back for a day, and then hopped on the Paradise for the Boats and Bros cruise. Now, while on board the Boats and Bros cruise, prior to that, I interviewed for the company that was supposed to be taken over to just transition with them to become a driver. At that point, I heard nothing from the company about coming on as a driver and working with them. So that went out the window. I enjoyed the first cruise, and I started enjoying the second cruise. Well, while I was on board the second cruise, I was getting constant phone calls, emails, text messages, all of that fun stuff The new company wanted me to work for them, and it was not in a driver position. I got off the ship that Saturday. I met with the new company. I started that Sunday as the operations manager for that company. Unfortunately, too little too late when the company hired me on. The government entity we were working for at the time automatically made already, not automatically, but already at that point has made their mind up to move on from that business with that company. And that company was put out the door. So February 11th, I got hired on February, what was it? Let's see. Let's get the correct dates here. So I got hired on by them February 8th was the very first day I worked for them. They lost the contracts February 11th. So like I said, too little too late. By the time they hired me on to get the operation running and going the way it was supposed to go, the government entity pulled the funding and all of that stuff, and that company went away. Well, a new company took over on the 11th. I went through the whole process with that company and all of that, and I officially started working for that company at the beginning of March. I've been strong with that company since then. I've made some great strides within the organization of that company and getting the contract running the way it's supposed to. Along with other members of my team, we have been working tediously and immensely amount of hours per day just to get the operation where it needs to be so we can continue to keep the contract long term, not lose the contract, and then be through the whole loop and all that again. So for those of you wondering, no, I am no longer driving a truck. I am getting dressed up fancy every single day and working for the corporate America world as a customer manager, customer of logistics and all of that stuff. So I'm doing all of that fun scheduling and payroll and all of that stuff with the whole operation. My schedule is supposed to be overnights, but I am working in the mornings to the PMs for the time being to get the operation the way it needs to go. And then I can transition to my regular schedule. Which I look forward to because that will not affect the weekly live show. So I'd still be able to go live every single Thursday. I'd be able to do the regular live show every week without interruption. It's just a little hard currently with the schedule that I am working to be able to go live every Thursday because there's some Thursdays where, hey, I might get home in enough time to go live. And there's others where I'm not. So sleep has been very little. Eating proper has been very minimal. Spending time at home with the kids has been on the minimal side. Working days and weekends and all of that stuff. So it's a little insane. But I know it's all worth it because in the long run, I'll get more time to be able to do everything else that I want to do. In the end, it'll all be better. They did approve all of my upcoming vacations. So the April cruise is a go. So I will be heading to Philadelphia on April 14th. The Alaska cruise was a non-negotiable. Me and my boss talked about that. If anything got sacrificed, it would have been April. But good thing is I don't have to sacrifice anything that is planned for the year of 2026. So knock on wood. Everything's good to go for 2026. It is a little bit of a better role, in my opinion. I might not be making as much as I was as a driver because I could have picked up extra hours and things like that as a driver. So I am salary in the position I'm in. But at the end of the day, once it's all done and running the way it's supposed to, like a well-oiled machine, the home life will be better. The free time with the kids on the weekends would be better. All of that stuff would be better. I do have benefits. I do work for a $10 billion a year corporation, and I will tell you who that corporation is. But I had to keep everything on the low for a little while because we didn't know where things were going to go. So the company that I originally worked for back in December, January, that company was called 10 Roads Express. 10 Roads Express was the largest mail contractor in the United States. They assumed 90% of the mail contracts within the continental United States. That company went out of business. They closed their doors. And then the new company came in from Chicago. The company is Logister. They were only in there for about 12 days. I was only there for about 4. And now I currently work for Ryder, R-Y-D-E-R, the rental truck company that you see all over the place. I work for Ryder. Ryder has contracts when it comes to government, when it comes to CVS, things like that. So They do have their own contracting department, and that is currently my employer. It's been great. I've enjoyed it so far. Like I said, a little crazy in the beginning, trying to get everything figured out in different programs and all of that stuff. And going from a driver role to a management role is a little different. But in my opinion, it's well worth it. I'm happy to be with Ryder. I'm happy to be part of the organization, part of the corporation. So all the benefits come along with it: 401k, paid vacation, sick days, all that fun stuff. So I'm getting more than I was with previous employers for the last 15 years. So hopefully, fingers crossed, in the very near future, the schedule will go back to being the normal schedule it should be, and the home life will be better. Weekends off, and then I'll be able to do more fun stuff for y'all. So coming up, we have the NCL Jewel out of Philadelphia for the La Lita Loca Bermuda Triangle Cruise. I will be on board that ship. So for any of you that are going to the Bermuda Triangle with Tony and Jenny over there with La Lita Loca, I will see you on board. For those of you who are going to Alaska with me, I will see you on board that ship as well. And it's great because all final payments have been made for the group cruise in Alaska. No one has backed out except for the few that backed out in the very beginning. But everyone that has stayed through all the way to the end has made final payments, and everyone is so excited to go. So for those of you that are going to Alaska, be sure to check out Facebook tonight. There's going to be a poll that gets posted over there. For just a quick little answer, yes or no. And then you'll have your daily post like usual. So thank you very much for getting all your final payments in. I look forward to cruising with y'all real soon. I did get some more goodies in the mail the other day to add into the Alaska bag. So it's getting here. It's getting here quick. You figure it out. March is already over. We're getting ready to roll into April. By the time I get back from the cruise in April, we're going to be cracking into May. And then you just got May, June, and then the beginning of July, we're heading to Seattle, baby. So 2 months, literally two months and 2 weeks until Alaska by the time I get back from the cruise in April. So with that being said, what do y'all want to talk about tonight? It's open conversation. It's been a while. It's been hectic. It's been crazy. It's been insane. What do y'all want to talk about? Lourdes says, today was my last day with Wawa, preparing for Carnival roll. That is awesome. For those of you who don't know, Lourdes is now going to be a PVP with Carnival. She's going to be a professional vacation planner with Carnival. So if you want to book a cruise with Carnival and you like doing it through a PVP, I highly suggest you get with Lourdes. She'll send you in the right direction, that's for sure. We all need separate suitcases for our goodies. Yeah, you'll need a suitcase. Listen, I've put together what I think would be one of the best group cruise goodie bags ever to be given out. And I say that because I put in these bags what I would want to get if I was on a group cruise with people. So you have like 8 or 9 different stickers. You have temporary tattoos. There's bracelets. Some of you that have been on the group cruises with me before, like Boats and Bros or the vloggers, the bracelets are the same ones that you've gotten before. It's just channel bracelets that I give out. So sticker packets, magnets, bracelets, lanyards, 3D printed stuff, keychains. There's so much stuff. And I have made a bunch of different things on the 3D printer to try and come up with an idea on what to put in the bags as well, because I enjoy working on the 3D printer. Like, if you can't tell, I have a ton of 3D printed stuff that I just enjoy making to keep around the house or on my desk, whatever the case may be. Like some of my Legos, I 3D print like the stands for the DeLorean for the little Back to the Future sets. Don't mind the dust. It's been a while, y'all. It's been a while. So I really couldn't like clean my desk off that great. But I really enjoy messing with the 3D printer, right? So I figured what can I put in the bag that I can make, because it's always better to get something that's handmade. So I made keychains. They're really cool. I don't have them here. I should have left one on the desk to show you what they look like. But I made some keychains to put into there. You have the bag itself. There's a ton of stickers. There's magnets. There's pins, lanyards. There's so much stuff that's going to be in these bags. There's luggage tags. There's so many different things. So I put a bunch of stuff in there that I would like to get, or just like to give right now. Like I've said to you all before in the beginning, you are all spending your hard-earned money to come on this group cruise. So my way of saying thank you is just with a little gift bag of different things to give y'all before we get off the ship or get on the ship. My goal is for everyone that's staying at the hotel, the group hotel, my goal is to have your bags in your room prior to you checking in. Don't hold me to that. I still have to get with the hotel to make sure that's a possibility. But that's the goal, is to have your gift bags in your room by the time you check in for the hotel. Aaron and Todd are in the house. What's going on? So that's the goal. Flamingos, no flamingos, but I can always 3D print a flamingo. I mean, it's Alaska. We're not really going to see flamingos in Alaska. So just think of like orca whales and, Alaska stuff. But I took it upon myself and I test printed so many different things. And all of those things that I've test printed, I put into an individual bag, a separate bag, and I'm going to put all of those things into Gay's bag, because I think with Gay coming all the way from Australia, she deserves all the prototypes. So she'll have so many different things inside her bag that some of us won't even have. It's just something that I test printed. I liked it, but I didn't like enough to print it for everybody. So I just left it alone with the one. And I gave Gay all of that extra stuff. So she's got all this extra different stuff. Oh, yeah, you will. I'll be dressed with flamingos. Yeah, but dressed with flamingos is different. Like, I'm talking like wildlife, right? We're not really going to see a flamingo. There's a chance you'll see a whale, so you might have something that's a whale. If y'all seen the new custom sticker that I got, like the sticker is pretty awesome. Like, I don't know. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see. Trying to find it. I know I sent it. It doesn't look that great picture-wise. Well, this is the new sticker. This is probably my favorite sticker that I made for the group cruise, and y'all are getting this whole sticker. So that sticker right there, I think it's probably the coolest sticker, even though the logo sticker is pretty cool. I think that is a way better looking sticker than anything. Doug, to be honest with you, that sticker I can put on a shirt, and then you can go ahead and purchase it. I can create a link separately for you if you'd like. I don't know if having multiple shirt ideas is, a good thing. But I can absolutely turn that into a shirt idea if that's what you wanted. And that sticker glows in the dark, y'all. So have fun with it. Stick it outside, and then at like 2 o'clock in the morning when the sun finally goes down, bring it back in, and then it'll glow in the dark in your room. But it's been fun trying to figure everything out. Like, I got a big, massive tote sitting in my living room, just full of different things for Alaska. And like I said, the best way to get it to everyone would be able to put it in the room prior to you guys getting to the hotel. Has anyone ever had Beecher's mac and cheese at Pike Place Market? 100%. Absolutely delicious. And if you look in the group, Todd, there's a recommendation list. Beecher's is actually on that recommendation list. You can make 7-time shirt designs and people could buy and wear different shirts. Alaska state of mind every day of the cruise. That's what Doug would do. That's what Doug would 100% do. And the last cruise was a 5-day cruise. I asked Doug how many shirts he brought with him. I think he said he brought like 30 shirts for a 5-day cruise. Got a spot on luggage for stickers. Let's go. I like the shirt and hoodie that I already have, and I have a bunch from Lolly to Loca as well. Yeah, I mean, I'll make the design. I'll put it up there. I got no problem doing it. Will G is in the house. What's going on, Will G? Yeah, I got no problem doing it. I enjoy like just creating the design of certain things. And I thought what would be a cool sticker because if you remember, like I was talking back a few months of having like an orca swimming past the Space Needle and all that stuff with the skyline. And I did purchase them stickers. I just didn't, it wasn't 100% what my vision was. And then when I developed and created that sticker, it was way better than what I could have imagined. So it was definitely worth it. Only 25 shirts on the Boats and Bros. I was 5 off. But 25 shirts, that's still a lot of shirts to bring for a 5-day cruise. But I got to give them credit. They're like them really thin, light microfiber style shirts. So they're kind of nice. Dan likes the Crab Pot restaurant near Pike Place. Yeah, so I put a lot of recommendations on that form. Now you guys will get, I was going to print those out and put them in the gift bags, but I'm not going to do that either. However, if you go to the Facebook group, you can save those images to your phone. You'll have a food recommendation. You'll have a tourist attraction recommendation, breakfast, lunch, and dinner with the food. And then there's a couple other recommendation ones that are in there. Actually, I could just pull it up on my phone. I don't want to pull it up on the computer. So you have Seattle Shenanigans, the free park recommendations, local attractions, food recommendations, and the Speakeasy. Now the Speakeasy one, that is by far my favorite one. I am a big Speakeasy bar guy, so when I found out there was multiple different Speakeasies in Seattle, that's definitely a fun little option to go out and grab a pre-dinner, post-dinner cocktail or whatever the case may be. Watch some room tour vlogs. Ship looks sweet. Yeah, it's a great ship. Yeah, it's a great ship. I enjoyed it. Definitely a beautiful ship. Definitely one of a kind. Today, Kathy reached out to me and was like, is this our Star Princess? Because on March 26, 2006, the original Star Princess had a fire at sea. So she saw that and thought it was our ship. And I was like, no, that's the old one. That's the original. So I'm definitely excited. I'm definitely looking forward to this cruise in April. That'll be cool. It'll be my third NCL cruise, I believe. But it's like a homecoming for me, right? I'm flying up the Tuesday before. I'm going to get some really good food. One thing I miss the most about the Northeast is the food. So I'm going to get some really good food when I'm up there. I believe I'm going to catch a Phillies game when I'm up there. They got the Cubs that Tuesday and Wednesday. So I believe Dave is available to go on the 15th, and we're going to go catch the Cubs game, the Phillies versus the Cubs. It's going to be kind of weird sitting next to a Cubs fan at a Phillies game because I'm a diehard Phillies fan. So that's one. And just see some family and friends while I'm up there, go see my nephew and all that stuff. And then, just get on the ship and then do the 7 days and then come home the same day I get back, 23rd. Go right back to work. Mike Brady just posted about the Princess event. Yeah, that happened. It's ironic because that happened in March of 2006. And I sent it to Kathy today and I was like, look, when I was a kid, we were on that ship right before we got on the ship March 5th, 2006. It was like March 23rd, 2006 that the fire happened. So we were on it right before that happened. Martin in the house. What's going on, Martin? Where you been, bro? You late. 22 minutes late. Don't worry. Wait till Chuck gets here. He's probably sleeping or he's going to be like, oh, I was working. I've really not talked to anybody. And Martin will contest to it because him, Chuck, and I are in a group chat. And every like 3 or 4 days, they'll be like, hey, Mike, you okay? And I'll be like, I'm good. I'm here. I'm good. I've been so slammed. I get phone call after phone call, email after email. I did not look at my phone at all today. I slept for majority of the day today. Ran to Sam's Club, and then BJ's. Had an encounter at BJ's, which was kind of it was kind of weird. At first, it was cool, but afterwards, it kind of felt a little weird. So I checked out at BJ's, and then the kids wanted hot dogs, and Aubrey wanted a pretzel. So I went and I got the kids a hot dog and a pretzel. And while I'm standing in line getting ready to order the hot dogs and the pretzel, some lady was just like, "You're that cruise guy," and I was like, "Yeah, that's me." And she's like, "Yeah, you're that cruise guy. You went with Tony?" And I was like, "Yeah." So we started having a conversation, and at first I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And then I was like, it's kind of weird because you don't think about it. You're just out at BJ's with the kids picking up some stuff, and then boom. So it was pretty neat, but a little weird. Literally writing that, Mike. I don't even know who Mike is anymore. My phone never shows a notification from Mike. Yeah, it's been crazy. Did you ever? What was the? Let me go in order. I'll be back in a tick. Just got home and going to get into the parking under the building. Be careful, Gay. Did you ever post videos of the restaurants on Star Princess? Because if you did, I missed them. No, Doug, I did not. However, I am going to start working on those videos over the next few weeks. With having this new job, I've learned a lot more about my iPhone and the capabilities of my iPhone over the last couple weeks. So I am going to be taking my Mac with me for some days and just work as I can in between like breakdowns and all that stuff and some free time. Work a little bit on some videos that I can get out on the Star Princess before July. And I also told Dave that when we're on the Jewel, I'm going to hang out with everybody and all that stuff. But there's going to be a day or two where I just hunker down in the cabin and work on editing videos from past cruises. So that way I can get some of that content put out because it's been a while since I dropped a video. And solely, I don't want to just be the guy that comes and puts one video out and then 4 months later puts another video out. I've just been completely slammed the whole month of February, the whole month of March. It's just been completely crazy, up, down, left, right. Jen had to have surgery on her shoulder, so that took out like a whole week of everything. And then with working, it just made it all worse. Kids with school and sporting events and all that stuff. Michael's in playoffs, and we had to drive to Ocala one weekend, and then this weekend they had to drive to Denellen, Florida. So it's been hectic with all of that going on. So I haven't put out any videos, and that's on me. That's solely 100% on me. So they'll be coming out over the next couple weeks. I'm not going to make any promises and say I'll have one out this week. Excuse me, but the goal is to have one out for the next week or two. Sometimes adulting, hate it. Yeah, it's 100% not in the cards for me to do that all the time, but unfortunately you have no choice. I'm far from a celebrity. Did you hear about the app that allows you to record long and short format at the same time? I've heard of a couple different apps that allow you to do things like that. I like to color grade a lot of my stuff. That's one thing I really like to do. I need to shoot a quick room tour of an accessible room. Lots of views on that video we did another ship. Seems like a huge gap on YouTube. It's 100% a huge gap, right? Because not a lot of people book accessibles that don't need accessibles. So you really aren't going to find that many accessible room tours, which is a good thing, right? Like it's a filler that you could put in there. Big gap that can bring people to checking out other content on the channel. I did see your message about Dawn, by the way, so that's great. I'm glad she knows. I'm just waiting for an email back to let me know about the bags and all that stuff. See, this is what I mean. Work text message. Guy can't get into where he needs to be. 10:30, and I still get messages. It's insane. Shoot iPhone 4x3. You can use the same footage and crop 16:9 or 9:16. Yeah, that's a really good trick to have too. Didn't somebody meet Tony B that way? See, Scott, I knew you'd be the one to say that. Numbers to the top. Let's hope the guy gets in. Yeah, I knew Scott would be the one that would say that because when I first met Tony and Jenny from Lolly to Loca, I was already living here in Florida at the time, and they were just getting ready to move to Florida. And I was at the Walmart, and I saw them, and I was like, hey, hey, hey. Hey, 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 because that was the famous tagline back then, right? This was when Tony was still small. I don't even think Tony was at 50,000 subscribers at that time. So it's really cool to be able to, be one of the ones from the beginning and watch how far they've grown. But yeah, I met Tony and Jenny at the Walmart. We're good friends now, so it was worth it. Haley wants to book accessible rooms to take away from people. So when you see her, chastise her. Yeah, Haley, no, you can't do that. There's people that actually need those accessible rooms. I mean, Martin's 10, 12, Martin's tall, but no, nope. Until Martin gets around in a wheelchair, do not be booking accessible rooms. Now, if the cruise line gives it to you as a guaranteed cabin, by all means, but I wouldn't. I personally don't book accessibles because I don't need an accessible. I can tell you what, I need to start drinking more water. I haven't drank nearly enough water over the last couple weeks. But that's it. It's been hectic. It's been like 4 weeks of not being involved, but it's crazy. If you're not driving day to day, does your CDL need renewing? So in order for me to keep my CDL, I have to drive. However, with the company that I work for, management is not allowed to drive the vehicles regardless if you have a commercial driver's license. I do have a valid DOT card, which means my license is still valid for 2 years. So in order to keep my CDL current, all I have to do is go and get a new DOT card every 2 years. The disadvantage to just doing that is, God forbid something happens, companies want relative experience. So if you're out of a truck for 2 years, they're going to be like, hey, bro, you might have drove for 15, but you haven't drove for the last 2 years. So I got to figure out a way to keep the experience fresh and relevant and all that stuff. But other than that, yeah, as long as I get an active DOT card for 2 years, I'm good. Mike, that was a lie. Good evening, everyone. I should have figured, right? I should have figured Martin was just pulling my chain. Oh, I haven't gone live since I met Martin and Haley, have I? Martin gave me a nice blue, See, this is how crazy it's been. Martin gave me a nice green and white lei. So I've rocked that a couple days. I got to meet them before they went on their Star of the Seas cruise, which was really cool. Got to go out to dinner with them. That was nice. And now I still got ship models. Why did we disconnect and change cameras? No. It's frozen. All right, we gotta. And we're back. Let's hope it stays that way. Let's hope it stays that way. So I got to see them for dinner. It was nice, surprising Martin. So that was really cool. And now I'll get to see them in July. That'll be the next time I get to see them. I don't know what happened, Lourdes. My camera just said, "Coop, controversial cruising in the house." What's going on, Scott? Yeah, the camera just decided to go kluk. So I don't know. I'm actually considering a different camera for the upcoming voyages. No audio on the side camera for future reference. On this camera, there's no audio? No audio over there? That's weird. I'm showing audio on my side whether I use either camera. Either way. Your live always does that. LOL, from one camera to two cameras. Sometimes it does, not always. It's a glitch with the Pocket 3. And it's annoying because I know the last time it happened and then it completely froze. It wouldn't turn back on. I had to send it back, get a new Pocket 3. That's what I got. That's the Pocket 3 that I have now. Side camera is audio now, wasn't before. I think it's just a Pocket 3. Like, it just completely glitched out because the Pocket 3 is literally the mic that I use for everything. Diabetic said he was going loony. That's funny. Yeah, and I don't know why it happens. From time to time it happens. But there's another camera company that is competing with the Pocket 3. It was Southampton, Lourdes. I did embark in Southampton. Hey, working and watching. What's going on, Chucky boy? It's nice to see you, bro. I ain't talked to you in a few weeks. The Pocket 3 is a great camera. It's one of my favorites. But there's another company out there that has a camera like the Pocket 3, capabilities of the Pocket 3, that might be some things in the work. So we'll see. That might be what I film some videos on in the very near future. I'll bring you some more mint Aero bars next month. Doug, you're the man. You know why I'm saying you're the man? Because I am literally down to the last one. I have saved those things and saved them and saved them and saved them because I knew I wasn't going to get any more for a while. And I didn't even think to ask you to... It's gone again. Now it's getting frustrating. Let me mute myself so y'all don't hear the background noise. Okay. Your stuff isn't used to going live. Yeah, I know. It's annoying. It's starting to like work my nerve. I made sure I updated the camera before I went live. I made sure I updated eCam before I went live so I didn't have any glitches. But it's frustrating because it's a new camera. Like I said, I had to send the other one back to get a new one because it was doing this and they couldn't fix it. Is anyone else driving to Seattle other than the three of us from Vancouver, BC? I did find a good link for parking. I honestly, Doug, I think you're the only one that is driving into Seattle. I know I have a group of 13 flying in from Tampa. Scott's flying in from Panama City Beach. I know Kathy is flying in from BWI. Dave and Laura are flying in. Layla and Ronnie are taking the train. I know the rest of their party are flying in. I would assume that Todd and Aaron, they're all flying in because they're from Virginia, so they would end up flying in. Who else? Martin and Haley are flying in. Cameron's flying in. Yeah, majority of the party is going to be flying in because they're all far away. I believe you're the only one that's that close to the cruise port to be able to drive. Even Scotty Mack, he's 8 hours all the way up in Saskatchewan. He's 8 hours drive to the closest airport. So I don't think he's going to drive in either. We can make Chuck drive if you want. Yeah, we can have Chuck drive if you want to have Chuck. Chuck, start to drive. Try to live once, epic fail. It's frustrating because sometimes like you tend to forget certain things, but I know how to plug a camera in and I know how to link it to the eCam. And then sometimes when eCam does an update for Mac, it doesn't recognize the Pocket 3 as the webcam action or the webcam feature. So then you have to go through and re-link the software that does recognize it. Oh, it's a complete mess. Yeah, it's a 2-hour drive for Doug. So Martin, remember when we were talking about driving from Seattle up to Vancouver for that 2 hours? The same day, Doug would have been driving down from Maple Ridge, that 2-3 hour drive. That's a no-go for me to drive. Such a large group. Do we have name tags? I don't think we have name tags, but we can get name tags. I was going to have like some type of name tags made up, but it's probably easier to just get like sticker name tags for everyone to write their name on. I do have, there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff. There's so much stuff. Chuck would drive the morning of and just make it. That's funny because with Chuck has literally gotten off of work at 7 o'clock in the morning in Albany, Georgia, and drove to Port Canaveral, Florida, the same day, and just made the cruise. Literally just made the cruise. That's why that is funny. That is hilarious because that is absolutely something Chuck would do. Let's see if I can't get this guy to call this guy. This is crazy. This is crazy. I shouldn't have to be doing this. You're going to see me work. It's insane. It's insane. I figured I can go live, but yet I can't go live. Let's see if my number one driver answers this phone. Hey, Bobby. I just texted you a phone number, man. I'm sorry if I woke you up. Can you do me a favor? Nikolai is at Plant City, and he can't seem to get the gate unlocked. I know you had that same issue, but you figured it out. Can you call him and walk him through how to open the gate? Yeah. Yeah, he's got the combo. He just can't seem to figure out how to get it to open. All right. I appreciate you. Thanks, buddy. See ya. And that's why that guy's my number one driver. He's a good dude. Anyway, let's hope that solves the problem so I don't have to worry about that anymore tonight. But yeah, Brightline, I hear, is doing big things in Florida. So Brightline has been doing some pretty big stuff in Florida since last year. They partnered with Princess Cruise Lines last year. I took Brightline with Chuck back in April for the to go over to to fly from Miami over to Italy to board the Sun Princess, and then Brightline partnered with Princess Cruises to be able to do like the better, faster to the fun type of thing. Take the train into Fort Lauderdale, Miami, get on the cruise ship, and all of that fun stuff. I do now hear that NCL is doing some stuff with Brightline as well, and there's supposed to be a continuation of the Brightline train that comes over to the Tampa area that connects to Orlando, which would be 100% perfect for me, because then I can just go to Tampa, hop on the Brightline, and take the Brightline to Miami. I don't have to pay for parking. I don't have to drive in all of the traffic. From where I live to Miami is 5 hours. So even if the train takes 6, it's still a win-win for me because I don't have to pay for parking. I don't have to pay for any of that. He was making fun of the way I got off the phone, Lourdes. That's what he was doing. I mean, I kind of feel bad. I woke the guy up just to try and solve a problem because I've never been to that station. But I know he had some issues there, and he figured out how to get in. So if he can get my other guy in, perfect. Perfect. I don't like admitting my defeat to the post office. The post office doesn't like it when I admit defeat, and I don't like admitting defeat to the post office either. So I will figure out every single way to get my guy in there to deliver the load or pick up the load, so that way I don't have to call the post office and try and solve a problem that way. If I can figure it out on my own, that's the way we're going to do it. Does the Brightline have a stop in Port Canaveral yet? So Port Canaveral is the stop, right? So you can take the Brightline from, technically it's Orlando, so they don't have a stop at PC yet. So you could take it from Miami up to Orlando or Orlando to Miami. So you would still have to figure out a way to get into Port Canaveral. So there's not 100% a stop in Port Canaveral. Orlando would be that stop. But even then, it's the Orlando International Airport. So maybe 40 minutes. They still have the $150 Uber ride, though. Uber's expensive, right? And that's why I posted what I posted in the Alaska group about the Orca, the light rail system in Seattle. Because the light rail train that goes from Seattle Tacoma Airport to downtown Seattle takes about 40 minutes, and it costs about $4. So any of you that are traveling with kids like me, kids are free. It's going to cost me $8 to get to the hotel in Seattle. Yes, you might have to walk a little bit through the airport. Yes, you might have to walk a little bit from the train station to the hotel, but I'm not spending a small fortune or a college tuition to get to the airport, from the airport to the hotel. Because let me tell you right now, it's ridiculously expensive to get around the city of Seattle via Uber. I weighed so many pros and cons with picking a shuttle service or telling everyone like, hey, look, take a cab, get an Uber, everyone share, split cost, whatever. At the end of the day, it would cost you more to take an Uber solely based on the simple fact of the amount of luggage that some people are going to have, right? Some might come in with 2 bags, some might come in with 1 bag, some might come in with a backpack and no bags. I know plenty of people that can travel for a week and they can do it all in a backpack. So some might have luggage, some might not. But at the end of the day, it is cheaper for all of us to pull together as a group, get the shuttle, take the shuttle to the cruise port, and all of that. Now, that is only one way. That's only into the cruise port because I don't know what everyone's plans are for afterwards. And everyone's got different plans. Some might have a back-to-back cruise, a side-by-side cruise. Some are staying in Seattle for a few days longer. Some are going right to the airport right away to fly out. And then some, like me, are staying to hop around the city for the day before heading to the airport to get on the flight home that night for the following morning. So we're only going to have the shuttle going in to the terminal in Seattle from the hotel to the cruise ship, and all of that fun stuff. So I would plan on having a little bit of side money for those things like that. If you want to go somewhere else while you're there, take an Uber or a cab ride somewhere else. If you want to go to, a different part, if you're like me and you want to go see things and all of that stuff, you're definitely going to have to pocket some cash for that. It's weird because I have an up-down, a love-hate relationship on what I want to do when I get to Seattle, because we're flying in on the 9th. The 9th is when my party's going to arrive. There's 13 of us that are arriving on the 9th through my party. Scott arrives on the 9th. Cameron arrives on the 9th. Chucky is part of my party. He's on the 9th. Chuck's plus one arrives on the 9th. Martin and Haley arrive on the 9th, but not till late at night. Gay and Dan are going to be there on the 9th. And there's going to be a bunch of other people that are coming in on the 9th. But I have a love-hate relationship on what I want to do, because those few days that I'm there are going to be days that I do things with the kids. Now, one day I wanted to get a big 12-passenger van and drive all the way up to Vancouver. But then I was like, do I really want to do that? I got to go to the airport, get the van, then drive back, pick everybody up, then go all the way up to Vancouver to drive back and drop everyone off, to then take the van back. I really don't want to do all that. So I scratched that idea. For those of you that have known me for a long time, I have a big obsession with the human brain, specifically the human brain on like serial killers. So I wanted to go around all of Seattle to all these different locations, but I don't want to do that either. I wanted to go up to the Funko factory because the kids are going to be with me and I'm a big Funko Pop guy. I don't know if I'm doing that either. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so up in the air. I haven't figured it out yet. I want the kids to be able to do and see and enjoy as much as possible. Martin was talking about waterfalls, so then I started looking at all these waterfalls, and then they're all like 2-3 hours out of the city. So I'm like, oh man, what are we going to do? Either way, we're going to find out, and we're going to mess around, and we're going to find some good stuff to get into in Seattle for those couple days beforehand. So that's going to be fun. I like the luggage transfer from the ship to the airport. That's something that's offered 100% complimentary. And it's great, right? Because now you don't have to worry about lugging luggage around the city all day long. You just got to worry about your carry-on and all of that stuff. Did the shuttle costs end up being $25 each? I will bring you cash to Philadelphia. Yeah, so the cost is $25 per person. I'm just waiting on confirmation back for bags. But yes, at this point, the cost is $25 a person. Boeing factory tour. Yeah, that's definitely something that's a must. Flight simulators and all that stuff. Yeah, we're definitely checking that out. And that's cool too, because for those of you who don't know, Dan used to work for Boeing, Gay's husband. So we're going to get like extra information out of Dan before we go and be like, hey, what do we got to do? Or what should we do? What should we check out? So we're going to get those insider tips before we go to that. And Martin says, we are doing Boeing since the van ride is no longer. I got no problem doing Boeing. It's been on the list. But the van, to me, like, the van sounds great, and I really would love to do the van. But here's my issue with the van. If I land on the 9th and we don't do this till the 10th, I got to get up at least 2 hours before we decide to leave to go back to Seattle by train, to the airport by train, get the van, and then drive the hour back to the hotel to pick everybody up. Then we have to take a 2-hour drive into Vancouver. So now I'm already up for 4 hours at that point. Then we're going to spend the whole day in Vancouver, which is going to be like 8 hours. So now we're talking 12 hours. With a 2-hour drive back, that puts me at 14. And then I have to drop everybody off and then go back to the airport, which is 15, and then train backwards. That's a lot. That's a lot. I don't want to be dead exhausted. I want to be able to enjoy myself. So I really don't think doing all of that in the end it it would be great. It would be fun to do it, hang around with everybody and all that stuff. But I think it would be too exhausting. I don't think I would enjoy it as much. And Doug, to answer your question from earlier, all of my drivers use electronic logs. The logistics of the Vancouver idea is poop emoji. 100%. 100%. I just, in my brain, it's like, it's a great idea, but it's really not. But I've seen some other videos where they had like shuttles and all that stuff, which is really cool, like the ferry and all that stuff. So I still got a few other things to look into and figure out. Why aren't you picking the van up when you arrive in Seattle? Lourdes, because it's $300 per day for a 12-passenger van. So that would be $600 to just use it for 12 hours. At that point, it's 100% not worth it. And then I got to pay for parking in the city of Seattle because the hotel doesn't have parking for big vans like that. So it wouldn't be worth it cost-wise to pick it up when we arrive in Seattle. It'd be different if we were going the same day we got there. But yeah, to hold it for a day and not use it, it wouldn't be worth it. It just would not be worth it. But I'm looking forward to it. Everything's coming along. Everything's getting where it needs to be. All final payments have been made. Reservations have been made. Make sure you go to the group and vote on the poll if you're on the Alaska group cruise. And if you're not on the Alaska group cruise, they still have, they still have cabins available. You won't be able to get it at the group rate at this point, but there's still cabins available, and I can still get you booked, and you can still come and be part of the group. So if you want to go on the group cruise, get into the details of the video, and you'll have my email right there. Shoot me an email. I'd love to have you. We got a great size group. 50 people. I think 50 people is a good number. I get to spend a lot more time with everybody at 50 people. I really didn't want 100, 150, 200 people group cruise. I think that would have been a little bit more hectic, a little bit more chaotic, and especially with people coming as far away as you are. I think you all deserve, all of that one-on-one time and all of that fun stuff. But the list of events is getting finalized over the next 2 weeks. And then that's getting sent into production. So that will be in your bag as well. You'll have like a little itinerary of events on things that we're doing, days, times, all of that fun stuff inside the goodie bag as well. For those of you going on the train excursion with us for the White Pass Summit, you'll have a brochure in there about that. So many different things. So many different things. Little tips and tricks like being able to purchase things on land in Alaska with your medallion through Princess, because Princess has this awesome thing called Medallion Pay, and they partner with a lot of businesses, whether it's in the Caribbean or in Alaska. They partner with a lot of businesses to where you can use your medallion as your way of paying, so it gets charged to your shipboard account. So there's a lot of stuff, and it's going to be very exciting and very fun. Chuck can pay for the van for all of us. Yeah, I told Chuck, I was like, yo, bro, I'm going to use your credit card to make my final payment, and then we'll use my credit card to make your final payment. And that didn't work. That didn't work out. Haley and I plan on taking advantage of the Premier package. Everyone does, right? I want everyone to take full advantage of that Premier package. You pay for it, you use it. We are going to have certain days where we have dinners in the MDR, but please do not feel obligated. If you have prior reservations somewhere on board the ship, please indulge, enjoy, and we will catch up another way. I just got to give them a final number, whatever the case may be, but I'll make them all aware. Hey, look, here's your final number, but just be aware everyone has Premier. Some might come, some might not. I want you all to enjoy the Premier package and just take it 100% for what it is. Are both WOW watching and train trips sold out? The train is 100% sold out. And the WOW watching is 100% sold out. The train, you can still book it directly through Princess, but the group rate price and all that is completely sold out. Because once I tell Princess how many I have to book that amount of numbers and pay for that amount of numbers. So it's all 100% done with the group for the White Pass Summit. Love you all. So good to see you, Mike. Continued success on your new role, darling. Kisses and love to everybody. Thanks for stopping by, Lourdes. I'm glad you were here. I'm glad you were able to catch a show. and not have to freak out anymore that we have not been going live. But we are going to try to go live again this Thursday. So try and stick with the regular schedule for this week. This is just a makeup for all of the stuff we have not been able to do over the last few weeks. Any 45-day advance res to snag like on version does stuff fill up quick. So there's a lot of restaurants on board the Star that a lot of other Princess ships don't have, right? Like you have the teppanyaki, you have the sushi, you have Love by Brito. There's so many more options on board the Star and the Sun Princess that 99, well, the rest of the fleet doesn't have. Let's not even say 99. The rest of the fleet doesn't even have it, right? Your traditional restaurants that are on board are going to be the Crown Grill and Sabatini's. 9 out of 10 Princess ships only have those two restaurants. So for this ship to have more than that, it's nice because it gives you more of a variety. However, that Princess package is very, it's an amazing package to the point that a lot of people don't turn that package down when booking a cruise because the amount of value you get for the cost. So I would highly suggest making reservations to Love by Brito. It's a smaller venue. I would highly recommend making reservations to Butcher Block by Dario because it's a meat-filled place and all of that stuff. I would definitely book those quick. There's a lot of other restaurants on board the ship, like the Teppanyaki. A little bit on the smaller side. I think they only have 6 tables, but it's bigger than what you would get on like the Carnival Jubilee or whatever the case may be. But if you wanted to do the hot pot side or the Teppanyaki side, you'd have to figure that out and see which one was the better option. I will tell you my recommendation. The Teppanyaki side is 100% a better option than the hot pot side. But with the Premier, it doesn't matter. You can try them all. So I would definitely check out Love by Brito first. I would check out Butcher Block by Dario. I would definitely get those two on the books. Crown Grill is where we're going to have the group MDR, or the group specialty dining dinner night 2. I'm shooting for 6 p.m. And that's what the poll is going to be about. So go and answer the poll. It'll be live before midnight. And then you'll get the daily post at midnight for all of that fun stuff. So definitely check out those ones. Love by Brito, absolutely, because it's a tinier venue, epic views, a really cool set like dining menu, and it's different. It's art themed deco with the food twist and all that stuff. So that's definitely one I would get with. Butcher Block by Dario would be my number 2. Rudy's would be 3. Crown Grill 4. So on and so forth. You get the gist. But you got 7 days, so you got 9 or 10 specialty restaurants. Book them all, eat them all, try them all. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me tonight. I'll be here Thursday. If not, you'll know. But I'm going to shoot for Thursday 100%. Yeah, so we'll do Thursday. Gay, I see your message. Just don't book it night 2. Night 2 is the night that we're doing the group dinner in the Crown Grill. And then night 3 is the Ketchikan Lumberjill dinner. So if you don't want to miss that, either night 2 or night 3, either way. What night is MDR night? There's plenty MDR nights. You'll see the schedule. That's going to come out next week. Let me get with Princess. Let me get the MDR finalized. Let me get that done. Or not the MDR. Let me get the specialty dining finalized with the Crown Grill, and you'll get all of that stuff. I'll post it before I send it off to get printed, so that way you guys can see everything. But again, same bad channel, same bad place. I will see y'all next week here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for being very understanding with me in this crazy, hectic time of the new role here at work. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Much love. And until next time, y'all know what to do. Y'all stay naughty. Peace.